All right, everybody, what's going on? It is your boy DJ Composition.
And the youngest of the OGs.
We are two bright guys, and we have a very special guest with us today.
Stop it.
Very
Super special.
Super special.
Super fly.
Feels good to be home. This is Brandon with PRSVR. Persevere.
Persevere. We got him in the building today. We're going to have a good-ass time. We're going to ask some questions. We got some history here, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
And
man.
Tell them where we at first. Where we at?
We in ACK. We in the building.
Yeah, we home. Yeah.
Like, got the keys and everything. We in here, for real. So, we going to just jump right into it.
We didn't have to break in.
Tell them.
We ain't had to break in.
We didn't even have to break in.
We ain't worried
no
about
felonies.
that long.
No felonies needed for this one, y'all.
Nah.
So Brandon, give the people some insight about who you are and what the brand is. For
Who I am
those who
today
don't
or
know.
who I've been, where you want to go?
Let's
I want to
wherever
get.
you want to. No holds barred on this one.
Well,
just
give
saying.
them a brief rundown of the brand, then we'll start from the history and go work our way
Okay,
back up.
cool. I bet. So I currently own with my wife a brand called PRSVR. PRSVR is basically an acronym we created for the word persevere. With PRSVR, each letter stands for a fundamental that we created, which is passion, resilience, sacrifice, values, and respect, which are all the things that we feel people need in order to persevere. So we created the line. We specialize in leather, I guess, for the most part, but not in the way that like Wilson's specializes in leather. We just, for so long when I was building a brand, like we couldn't afford to use leather. So when I finally found a connect, I was like, we leathered everything. We made leather sweatpants, leather denim jackets, leather
Business
everything.
card
Leather
holders.
business.
I had one of those.
We did it all. It was like, yo, what else can you leather out? It was like the bubble gum of like leather. It was like, yo, I got. He shrimped it out. We was like, yeah,
All
I was
leather.
like, yo, and that was a new one. I just came up with that. I'm gonna use that later. I'm gonna use that. I like that. I do that. Find that on a T-shirt you can purchase real soon. You know what I mean?
Look, we got about 1,000 t-shirts we trying to make too. So,
Yo, we got to get it done.
So
Absolutely.
how long has the company been moving?
I kind of started loosely when I was 20. So 16 years ago, I kind of loosely started. I was working on something else, at a company called Number One Draft Kicks. We was customizing sneakers. And then my buddy.
I remember that, man. I
Yeah,
forgot about that.
Man. It was we was figuring things out. Then my buddy DJ, who was my partner at the time, he had a company called Shion with my eventually other former business partner Jermaine. So they was running a line, so we kind of clicked up. And then I say we've been working on the line specifically Persevere about 15 years.
Okay. So
Blood, sweat, and tears in all those 15
Blood,
years.
sweat, tears, ruined credit.
we're gonna get into all that.
All of that, man. Some women that I knew that could have been great, but was good, but I wasn't ready, and all kind of stuff. Though it's a lot that goes into kind of trying to build your own thing. Yeah, absolutely.
So what you're telling me is within the next 10 to 15 years, there's gonna be a movie about this.
Oh man.
So who's playing you? That's what I need to know. Who's gonna play you?
I mean, you would want to say, oh, well, Denzel has to play me. Then it could be like 70 years.
He's gonna be old.
Denzel got to
So
play me.
he can play my dad though. You know what I mean? But who would play me? Who knows, though? I don't even. Who would even know, man? I think Mac Wiles would do a good job, but he's a little short. He's kind of short though. So. It wouldn't be believable. It'd be like
with the camera angles, where they'll shoot up.
Yeah, exactly.
Rocky
exactly.
IV is the magic of camera angles, okay?
Of life, dog. Like, there's
life.
no way in the world they were seeing eye to eye, bro.
No,
Like, come on.
no.
Rocky IV.
Crush you. You know
So I had a quick question. So
Yeah.
you started out, you didn't start out, but I remember, let's see, in the beginning, those 15 years, you were working at ACK at the original location.
Yeah.
How did you get connected with ACK? How did you start working there? And how did that play into your influences as far as your brand?
Well, ACK, buddy of mine told me about this new sneaker spot open, and I was like, nah, here? So I went over there. I didn't know Jay Stu at the time. God bless him and his family, of course. I didn't know him at the time, so I just kind of went in like, pussyfooting around, just checking it out. And he eventually kind of stopped and like, so what's up, what you doing? He was, the OG, but I never knew him. So he was everybody else's OG.
Yeah.
So he was kind of just like, oh, I see what you're doing. Like, okay, that's dope. Come around, let me help. If you got some ideas, I could use some help around here. He was talking about Vic and, just the whole thing like that. And he kind of took to me, I took to him. And that just became the spot for me. It was like, all right, cool. I woke up, just go to work. I didn't work there. I just went and helped out my man. You know what I mean? Like,
So it didn't feel like work at all.
Because it wasn't. He ain't paid me.
Yeah.
But
I wasn't even paid. I was over there soaking up game.
Yeah, you in the environment, and then because people don't understand what goes into running the store, especially a sneaker spot, because you got to have those Nike deals, and you got to have those.
And he didn't have none of them. He had no deals. He had like Lecoq Sportif and like Saucony, a lot of independent brands that he loved was what he had in the store. And it was like that wasn't, everybody's taste is, definitely their taste. It's like, if we open up a thing for things I like, well, we don't want to dress like you, B.
Yeah.
So it was a bunch of independent brands that he had in there and things that he loved. And he had his brand Cooley. He had like some tees that he had in the spot. So it was still very small and independent because with the big accounts, Nike, Reebok, Adidas, they want you to be open before they even think about giving you something. So he had to get open, get everything set the way he did. He spent so much money on that first spot, bro, and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure people went into that store and was like, yo, we're going to copy the blueprint. We're going to do it up and then not say where we got the influence from. But Jay still was definitely a pioneer within the culture for the state of Michigan as a whole. So it was just like being in there, like, the things that have to go into that, like even if he wanted to pay me, he couldn't pay me. Like, it's so much money that going to starting up a business.
And people don't know that. Then they go in there asking for discounts, asking for hookups, and people pouring their blood, sweat, and tears in there.
Yeah.
So you transitioned from ACK. How long did you work at ACK?
I was over there. I was
working. But it was work.
I was working, but I was. I mean,
how long was your education at ACK? Because you were learning.
It was about a year.
It
was about a year before I broke off and was like, all right, cool. Like, I'm still fam all day, but I'm going to go. I got enough game. I'm going to go put this to work. You know what I mean?
And then you transitioned to where?
Chicago.
Chi-town.
Transitioned to Chicago. We did an event in Detroit called Payday, which kind of released like the initial shoe that we wanted to put out, but it never came out because the sales didn't quite work how we wanted it to work, and we ain't know nothing at the time.
And I want you to tell everybody what year this was, because I remember this, and we're going to talk about ownership, independence, and shoes. Please put that out.
Because we're fans of LeVar Ball's, and we're going to get your opinion on LeVar Ball and that shoe and everything, but to answer Comp's question, because
he was the first person that I personally knew that was aggressively chasing, like, hey, I don't need to wear Nike, Adidas, Reebok. I'm gonna wear my own shit.
This was 05, 06.
05, 06.
Yeah,
so
this is over 10 years. Dang, bro, that's a long time ago. But we went and did the event, and we had like a kind of big fallout with some of the people we was working with here in the city. So it kind of soured my desire to kind of stay in Michigan.
Got you.
I didn't run away or get run out of none of that, but cats talking about they was gonna stab me and they wouldn't rock with me no more. So it was just like, man, this is so corny. Like, this is my event. Like, this is something I did. Y'all didn't do this. Yeah. So it was just like, all right, cool. Let me go somewhere else. I want to go to LA and New York, but I wasn't ready. I know if I went to LA and New York, I'd have been right back with a story about they ain't fucking with your boy.
They hating on me.
They hating on me. They ain't ready for no new blood out there. So I went to Chicago. I was listening to a lot of like the early Kanye and GOC, music. And I was just like, yo, I think I could go over here and get this done in Chicago. So I transitioned over there, just worked on getting it cracking, man.
Now, how was that transition coming from Michigan to Chicago? How was that transition? Was it more challenging than you thought it was, or was it easier than what you thought it was?
I mean, there's a little bit of both. Like, DJ, who I mentioned earlier, my brother over there, he was already in like Waukegan, like way up north in Illinois. So he was already over there. So he kind of, transitioned me into it because he would still go to the city and stuff. So like I went and visited twice. And when I went and visited, like that was the first time I ever had alcohol. You know what I mean? Like, I went to this party and it was like super high end. It was crazy. I was like, man, like you can live like this. This is life. Like it was just so different for me from being in Michigan. So it was like, I knew immediately I had to be careful. Like things could really like explode in a different direction. I could like kind of get caught up in the mix. Right. So it was easier, but it was harder. Like I found my first crib that I lived in Chicago on Craigslist. Looked super dope. It was a condo. I was like, I bet. Man, I moved right into Inglewood, right into
if you don't know what Inglewood is,
man, like
that's not Inglewood, California.
Nah, which ain't good neither. But this
no,
Inglewood,
by any
Chicago,
stretch.
Right. If you don't know who Inglewood, that's where D Rose is from, right?
D Rose from there and a whole bunch of other killers. You know what I mean? Like, I moved over there, and like I'm in Grand Rapids. My parents worked really hard to keep me out of. We moved from Detroit because I'm born in Detroit. When I moved to Grand Rapids, they worked really hard to keep me from like. Dealing with a lot of the things we had to deal with in our neighborhoods. We wasn't rich, but we wasn't in the hood like that no more.
Right.
They put like teddy bears around this tree one time when I came back home from like being out of town or something. And I'm like, oh shit, whose birthday is it? It was like, what? I don't know. They was like, no, Lil Ray Ray got killed yesterday. I'm like, oh my God. So y'all kill people on the block next door? He died right here? Like, all right, cool. Yeah, I got to get up out of here.
So how long did you live in Inglewood in Chicago?
I lived in Inglewood for 7 months.
That's longer than most people can make it. People don't understand what Inglewood is, man.
Yeah, it was.
But you made it out alive.
I made it out alive. And the crazy thing about it, man, and like, my grandma's still alive. So like, she'll talk. She work at Job Corps.
Yeah.
So like she's like 86 or something like that. So like it'll be times when she's like around kids, it's knuckleheads, but when they get around somebody older, you chill out. You stop cussing, you pull up your pants, you say hi, Miss Curtis. These were some of the nicest guys in the world when I lived in Inglewood, dog. It was just like, don't fuck with me. Don't touch me. Don't touch my stuff. Don't touch my girl. Don't look at my crib. They were the nicest people though. Like if I get a package, I never had nobody steal a package in front of my crib. They'll put it in the house. Like, they always looked out for me. I never had my car broken into in Inglewood. I never was robbed in none of Inglewood. It's just like, if you test a person in Inglewood, you might not pass the test.
But if you cool, they cool.
Yeah, if you cool, they cool. They love me, dog. And they know what I was trying to do. They just like, yo, B wake up, he go to work, he got a couple chicks to come through. He cool. Leave B alone. He ain't about none of this.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, so 7 months, though, I was out, though.
7 months. He was cool, but 7 months I was out of there.
The ladies that lived there were like, you live where? Well, no, we don't go over there.
The police don't go to Inglewood.
Yeah, they don't.
Yeah, the jump out boys go. The regular police don't go to Inglewood in Chicago.
Yeah, nah, unless they going to make a pickup.
Yeah. So you transitioned from Inglewood. How long before you got to Chicago before you opened up your first store?
Oh man, when I probably about 4 years. So about 4 years before I opened up my first spot.
And so what was the transition like between moving to Inglewood to your first store? What was that first?
Just working, man. Like when I first got to Chicago, I didn't like have a product yet. So I moved to Chicago. I was working at Sprint. So I was driving from the south side of Chicago all the way up to where my guy DJ lived up north. Mm-hmm. So an hour drive with no traffic. But as we know, Chicago has the craziest traffic. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it was like an hour and a half just to get to work every day. 7 o'clock in the morning leaving out. So I was grinding just to get the bread up, to go take trips to Paris, take trips to Toronto, to go to All-Star Weekend just to act like I had it, and go to China to go check on factory stuff. Like I was literally working to get enough money to go do the thing I needed to do. Then I quit because they weren't gonna give me the time off. So I'm just quitting jobs just to make sure I'm doing what I need to do. So it was just about a good 3 years just of figuring out what to do and how to get the money to do it. Because student loans on my credit report, like, they not gonna let me go get no loan. Like, no bank gonna give me no bread. I'm still having issues with the banks, and I got okay credit now. I ain't got no issues. They still don't give me no money. So it's just like, 3-4 years into it, like, me and DJ stopped rocking with each other. Like, Jermaine decided to go do his own thing. Like, so now it's just me, but then we had this app called Soul Search. So Soul Search was the sneaker app that found all the sneaker boutiques in the world. So with that, I'm traveling around the world doing my thing, thinking I'm finna sell 1 million downloads, and Hypebeast is gonna post it and Complex gonna post it. Man, they ain't do shit. You know what I mean? We dropped that app, put so much bread into it, man. We was learning code and C++ and gooey, dog. Like, and it didn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, and that was where I learned, like, within the culture and the quote unquote culture and the blogs and the magazines and all that, man. It's who you know, dog. It's who you know how much money you gonna spend. We ain't know nobody. We in the middle of Michigan. Yeah, we don't, like, the most famous person I knew was La, who's the homie, but I don't know nobody at Hypebeast. You know what I mean?
Right. La, Wu-Tang 96.
Yeah. And even with that, like, I can't call La. I don't got La number. You know what I mean? Like, there was no connect, the ability to get the word out. So it's just like cold calling, like emailing people, hoping they respond. We email Sneaker Freaker and Complex and Hypebeast and all these people just being like, yo, like, we got this new app. Can you put us up? Can you put us on? Blah, blah, blah. Like, oh, okay, well, let me see the rate sheet. Oh.
Right.
Oh, so it's $10,000 to get this post. And if you want to get a real energy poster, we put it here and here, it's going to be $20,000. So I'm like, so
okay,
up front?
Stop right there.
Yeah.
So people paying attention. So think about what he just said. They wanted $10,000 to post an article about your app. So everybody hitting people up, yo, bro, post this, post that, put this up, put that up. We help as many people as we can, and we little.
And that's a low energy post.
That's a low energy post. Me and Con compared to B.
He said 20,000 if you really wanted to have.
You want to get the energy in it, we'll talk about it.
If you want a team behind it, they wanted $20,000 to post a book report, a writer on his app.
Yeah.
I want people to think about that, man, because they think advertising is free, or anytime a business goes down or a business closed, the last department that goes to advertising, because that's what makes your money. Absolutely. They wanted $20,000 for a post.
Yeah.
Okay, now keep going.
On a blog.
Yeah.
On a blog.
On a blog, on a website that people might go to, and then it's the thing. It's like 10,000 posts on the site, so what makes you think that they're gonna stop at this one? So like, I could potentially spend $10,000 and they just scroll past it, So we was like, yo. Not gonna do that. So we went like on a tour. We went like a soul search app tour. So we would just go tour the sneaker boutiques and show people how the app worked. Seemed like a good idea. We was like, yo, Tech, we told my guy Tech Togo, like, yo, make this project, make a mixtape for us. So we like made the app, then we made a mixtape with it, did launch parties and have people rapping at it. Like we wanted to create the energy around it, create the culture that we wanted to see. You know what I mean? So that was mildly successful. It went well, but I think it kind of took a toll on us, me and my business partners, because it's just like, yo, like, when is it going to happen? We done put up our bread. We was patient. We persevered. We did all these things, dog, like, and it still ain't working, and that kind of put a strain on us. You know what I mean? So it's like from that, I met my wife on one of the tour dates. We stopped in Indianapolis where I was going to meet with my man who was doing an album release in Indianapolis. I was headed to Nashville and Atlanta and Huntsville, and Alabama.
You're doing all the driving.
Driving, yeah. Hopped in a Camry. We rented a Camry, hopped in it. We was going to pick up Will. Will was going to go with us to Huntsville, Alabama. But when I hit Indianapolis, I met this girl, and I was like, yo. You know what I mean? So, like, my man, Jason, who introduced me to her, he was like, yo, this girl does this blog. She does this radio show online. She's super dope. If nothing else, y'all can connect professionally. Still ain't get that interview, you know what I mean? But it's just like
she still ain't
exactly. When she started back up, maybe I can get on there. But it was just like, all right, cool. That's my wife. I'm gonna figure this out. Because when I left to go on that trip, I just got out of a relationship. I'm like, I'm just gonna go down south and just have mad kids. Fuck it. That was literally my plan. I'm finna go down here to Atlanta and just have some babies. I'm tired of this shit, dog. Like, I'm tired of putting this energy into these relationships, dog. They don't understand what I'm trying to do. So I'm gonna just be like, yo, what
nobody
up?
Gets the artistic
nobody
side
gets
of people,
it, man.
right?
The artistic side of people, and the fact that I got some money, but tomorrow I might not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As an entrepreneur, I might have $20,000 in my pocket, and then tomorrow my account be negative by $3,000.
But you taking the risk.
Every day, every single day.
Did she buy into the risk with you, and is that what connected you to the most, or was she like
slightly? Like when I met her, slightly. It was calculated risk. 'Cause my wife's super smart. She got all the degrees and private school and all of that stuff. I was like, yo, I went to Ottawa, B. Like, and that was as private as I needed it to be. You know what I mean? Like at the time, Ottawa was that deal. Like if you went there, you was pretty much in private school for black people. Yeah. So it was like with her, I was kind of, I was in the garb, I was in the sweatshirt.
By the way,
shorts.
he's an Ottawa hater. I just want to put that out.
I'm not an Ottawa hater. I'm just a red heart.
Where'd you go?
I went to Union.
Oh,
man.
yeah. Union still standing strong, though.
Yeah, we're still there. There you go. See, I like he's positive, man.
Creston closing the motherfucker.
Creston closing the motherfucker.
Out here, like, we had to get rid of somebody. Yeah, it's you.
One y'all got to go.
It's
Central,
you.
Older school, so it's staying.
Central is there, but I don't know if they're really Central
no,
still.
I don't know who's in there. You
It's
know
like
what I mean?
Central Light right now.
Central Light.
I'm working on the comeback.
But
Sorry.
we had to get them jabs.
Yeah, got it.
But so she kind of bought into you.
She kind of bought into it. Like when I met her, I came back like the next weekend or two after she stopped ignoring me, and I had like this cool like ostrich duffel bag that I made, and she's like, "Oh, that bag is dope." I was like, "Oh, for real, you like that? I can get you one." She's like, "Whatever that means. All right, cool. What you want to eat for dinner?" I'm like, "All right, cool. Maybe you don't really like it." So like it was another situation. I wore this shirt, and it's actually this shirt, but a different model of it. It was like the sample, and she was like, "I really like that shirt. What is it?" I'm like, "It's my company. This is what I do. I make clothes. She was like, what do you mean? I was like, yo, like this is what I really want to do. I'm running this app right now, but what I really want to do is these clothes. So she kind of put it in the back of her head, was like, all right, cool, whatever. So we went to Chicago for her birthday. This was 6 years ago. No, dang, if I'm 6 years old as a business, it's 7 years ago. 7 years ago. So right, we go downtown and we go in Ferragamo. And it's this guy. He's like, yo, I like that shirt. What is that? I was like, it's my shirt. That's a shirt that I made. He was like, what do you mean? So we go through the whole thing and song dance again. And, so Margaret steps in. My wife, she's like, well, how much would you pay for this shirt since you like it so much? He was like, I don't know, about like $180. He's the manager at Ferragamo, which Ferragamo is this huge Italian house brand.
Yeah, so he's getting good paychecks.
He got the money to pay. Like, all right, cool, you pay $180. All right, that's interesting. So we leave out, think not too much of it. You know what I mean? We go into like Chicago had just opened up a Top Shop. You know what I mean? So we went in there, which is a less expensive store, but still very high fashion kind of thing. You know what I mean? So we went in there and there's two dudes asked like, yo, like, shirt crazy, bro. What is that? Shirt buzzing. I'm like, we still on the same block. I'm like, all right, whatever. I've worn this shirt before. This is not my first time wearing it.
Y'all just saying that because I'm with the
whatever.
girl.
Exactly.
Girl, yeah.
Definitely look better next to her. You know what I mean? So that's cool. But then she was like, it's not often where men compliment other men to their face. You know what I mean? So this is interesting. She was like, yo, let's figure it out. I'm gonna give you 6 months. If you can figure it out in 6 months and you can make it to where we making money, we can do it. But you got 6 months. That was 7 years ago. You know what I mean?
And here we are.
Here we are.
So what was the first product that you sold in the company?
That really like
when you knew it was like, okay, this ain't
we
the
cooking
app.
with grease now.
Yeah, this ain't the shoes. Like when you put this one product out and then it was like, hold on.
Man, it was the leather luxury track pants. When we dropped the leather sweatpants, dog, like it was the first sale we ever made. We sold it to this guy who's like a stylist. He bought it for like his friend who at the time played for the Buccaneers. That was the first sale, and that was the first product that like went haywire for us, dog. Like everybody was in them, dog. We did them in black, red, royal blue, white,
so
pink,
can you give
everything.
people a rundown on some of the people or the celebrity people that wore the leather pants?
Man, Fabulous, Nicki Minaj, Chris Brown.
I remember Nicki in them.
Yeah, Nicki did it twice. And the funny story with the Nicki joint, we were in LA for the BET Awards. So we in LA, my wife pregnant at the time. So she can't turn up, but she's super emotional, crying. We arguing about everything. It's just like, oh my God, like there's nothing wrong with you, B. Come on now. So we doing this pop-up. We doing a pop-up right across the street from the Staples Center, which we thought would be a great idea. Nah, they don't shop downtown LA.
They don't shop.
They don't shop downtown LA. They go to the events that are downtown LA. They don't shop there though. So we doing a pop-up. We doing our 1-2. A couple stylists hit us up. Nicki Minaj stylist hit up. She's like, yo, Nicki's doing some videos. We want to do a pull, borrow some clothes and bring them back because they don't. Really, celebrities don't be buying shit. We don't have a gifting policy, so a lot of the opportunities we miss, but they don't buy shit. So they came by and pulled some stuff. She was like, I need stuff for Nicki, I need stuff for Swiss Beats, I need this. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever, let's get it. You know what I mean? Because the pop-up was crazy slow, so it was like, yo, we need to do something.
So when they pull, do you kind of like write down, like, okay, Nicki Minaj got 2 pairs of sweatpants, they $150 a piece, $300. Swiss Beats got $700 worth of shit. It's $1,000. Make sure you let me get your ID, man.
Yeah, so they'll do the pull. We'll write it up and we'll take a credit card and we'll put it on file, quote unquote. But we won't charge it unless they don't bring it back or something like that.
Can they bring it back fucked up?
Like, they bring it back fucked up. You could have just kept it at the crib. You could have kept that. Don't bring that back.
You already know. You already know that you should have kept this shit.
I seen the video.
So this happened, and you was like, "I'm gonna just take it back." Like,
you really took this chance,
man. Let me just see if he noticed. Like, okay,
somebody been
this
farting
whole
in
right. In the pants when you pick this shit up.
So they pulled the merchandise.
They pulled the merch. So we go over to the JW Marriott to go watch it because like the JW Marriott is right next to the like awards or whatever. So we're like, well, we'll just go over there and watch it because we were staying in a terrible hotel because I had a huge entourage and everybody had to go. And big mistake. Don't do entourage, bro. It's not fucking worth it. Ain't nobody, don't nobody do no work, man. Like just don't.
Everybody party.
In future reference.
Anyone who is working can come. If you just chilling.
Yeah, man. And even
drinks all around. It's on
God.
This guy.
Yeah, man. And we'll get to that point of the story later because it's a whole thing with that, with entourages and stuff. Just make sure y'all bullet hold that for later, man, because there's some stories out there
entourage,
for that.
You're gonna say
stories
that.
for that. Woo. But Yeah, so we was next door to the thing. My wife pregnant, it's me and like 6 other people I flew in from Chicago. We watching the awards on the TV in like the bar. So I was like, all right, I'm finna go get a drink. So I go to the bar, I'm at the drink, like I come back and sit down. I'm like, I think that guy has our pants on. I would tell my wife, like, I think he has our pants on. She's like, what? Like, them the red ones, them the red pants, and that's our zippers right there. That's got to be our pant. No one else is doing this shit yet. It has to be our pant. She was like, I don't know. Like, I'm gonna go see. So I go over and talk to him. I'm like, yo,
are those
you
Bugle Boy jeans? You
hit him with the Bugle Boy.
Excuse me, my brother.
And it was definitely the most interesting way to approach, because I know, like, yo, what up, my nigga? Nice pants. I like the pants you got on, bro. Like, it was like, yo, you got my pants on. He was like, yo, word. I was like, wait, what? I was like, no, I made them pants. He was like, I don't really get what you're saying, bro. Like, all right, my name's Brandon. I own the company that made those pants. Like, I designed those. Those are mine. He was like, oh shit, I didn't know they was black. Like, that's what's up. Like, that's super dope. Like, yo, my name is whatever he said his name was. I'm like, oh man, that's dope, man. I appreciate the support. You know what I mean? Like, you know, we work really hard, blah, blah, blah. Like, I bet. I'm finna go back to my seat. So I go back to my seat. I'm like, yo, that was our pants. Ah, that shit is crazy.
You walk back to all cool when you got there.
right. We super geeked in the group. We all powerful. Oh, yo, this shit was crazy. But then it was like, he came back over. I'm like, yo, that's him. He coming back over. I want to buy another pair.
Everybody chill.
Yeah, they just ship you a drink. Get some more of them crackers, B. Make it sound like you ain't even thinking about him. We just watching the TV. He was like, yo, if y'all them, here go some tickets. Y'all should go catch the show inside. I'm like, oh, word? I'm like, all right, that's cool, bro.
I mean, we had tickets already,
you know,
but
I just like watching in the lobby, bro. It's crazy in there. I want to go in there. My wife pregnant and shit. I want to go in. What, nigga? Oh, my God. We got tickets to the show. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Ah! You know what I mean? I was thinking I'm trying to see new kids on the block, and I'm a chick from the suburbs or something. You know what I mean? So, like, you know, we sit there, and Margaret's like, my wife, like, I'm so pregnant, I don't want to go. I'm like, fuck, if you don't go, I can't go. So 2 other guys got to go to the joint. So they go and sit in the thing, and they text like, yo, it's so crazy in here. The seats are so dope. But we working though. but we working though. La la la. I'm like, oh my God. So then my wife, you know, we still get into it. So she leaves. She go back to the hotel, and then like,
did you have another ticket?
No, I didn't. It was just 2. I didn't get to go.
I told them niggas to come outside. Hey,
I tried.
Bring me there.
He tried that.
I tried, man. I'm the boss, leader, whatever. I hate calling. I'm not a boss. I'm the leader. I'm the owner of the company. So it's like, you know, y'all work hard. Y'all go do y'all thing. Do y'all thing. I'm gonna be all right. This ain't gonna be my last chance to be around these type of situations. So like, y'all go do y'all thing. While we watching the thing, though, Sierra come out. She got like a $100 bill shirt on or something like that. Some sublimation thing from somewhere. So she dancing and shit. And then Nicki Minaj come out, and I'm like, the fuck? Like, she got the pants on. Like, so I see the zipper dangling by her Giuseppe sneakers. I'm like, yo, that was when it kind of caught to where it was like, yo, like, you know, we've created something that would transcend us just being black. Mm-hmm. So I thought.
So did Nicki return the pants?
Nah, she paid. She was like, yo, here go the car. Can y'all run it, or do we need to put some money in the bank? So she was like, hey, they paid their money.
So they kept
Swiss didn't buy his, though.
Swiss didn't buy it.
Look, if you came back, Rich say, please return them. Let me give you a fresh pair. Let me get the ones you just
we're gonna put these in the Smithsonian. Right. We're gonna shrine these. You know what I mean? But it was they were super good clients, though. They always paid. They never was, you know, mean or nasty about anything. They never rushed us. They were super cool. But it was like from that, like, it's this thing called Women Wear Daily, WWD. They like run fashion. They emailed and was like, yo, hey, we're here to speak about some shit. And then they were like, where's your office? I assume we was in New York. Like, yo, we in Chicago and blah, blah, blah. They was like, they never responded back again. They just popped up. They'd have popped up and saw I was black. We said Chicago, so they probably went to the Instagram and saw we was black, and it was like, we ain't going over there.
Right.
This shit ain't gonna last. You know what I mean? But that was very early in our career, though. We weren't even a year old when that happened. You know what I mean? But then we went to All-Star Game 2. Before that, even Teyana Taylor popped up and watched shit, dog. And that initially set it off. Teyana Taylor was our first huge look, and this is before Teyana now. With Teyana out of this world, I can't even fathom like the amount of work that they've done to get to this point. You know what I mean? But she definitely was like set it off with the red joints. Like, she killed it out the gate. You know what I mean? Like it was definitely some moments in there.
Chris Brown had the same pants on.
Fab,
Fab,
same pants. Jennifer Williams, who was one of the original housewives of Atlanta, which I've never watched, so I don't really know who that is.
You got the names.
I got the name. Yeah, it's all on the list. You know what I mean? Teyana Taylor wore like 4 different colors. Who else is on that list, man? Empire, the cast of Empire, Yaz from that show, Sherry Gray.
Yeah, because is he from like Detroit or something?
He's from Philly.
He's from Philly, okay.
Philly guy.
Because I'm saying he was like Will Smith's nephew or something like that. Definitely was joking.
I don't know. Yeah, they probably joke about that. That ain't true. Nah.
So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Dealing with the fashion industry, I know that years ago Kanye was talking about how challenging it was for black brands and stuff like that because of all these other major names.
Yeah.
With your brand being more of a higher end product, what were some of the challenges that you faced in the past and what you currently see on the horizon now as far as being black owned and really pushing the envelope and being a higher end product?
Okay, so I'm gonna answer that part in 2 ways. So if I forget the actual question you asked me, just remind me. Okay, cool.
We all relaxed here, man.
Yeah. Just remind me. Like you didn't answer the question though, so just tell me that. When Kanye was doing those rants, I was very excited because, being black owned and, a lot of times people are like, oh, this brand is black owned, but it's not. They're just putting a black man in the front because we run the culture. Right. You know what I mean? So they really are bankrolling the situation for a black guy and somebody else owns it and they're just, doing all the grunt work because they got the bank. It's no different than, somebody, Nas making it in music and then being like, I'm finna put some money on a package, go get rid of it for me. Like, it's no different than that, but it's just the way white people do it.
Right. And so people think black owned is necessarily like the CEO is black, and that's never the case. Like BET right now. BET is not black owned. Like it's not black owned television.
Yeah, not at all.
Like the Roots Twitter page. It's a page called The Root. And it speaks on a lot of black stuff, but it's all the panels all white.
Wow. Like, I mean, and that's just the reality of it. So when he did that, it was like, finally somebody big enough is going to shine light on this because we get it all the time, dog. We in a luxury market, but we don't provide luxury service like that. We not sitting up there like, how are you today? Like, oh my gosh. So you I don't do that. I be like, my nigga, what's good? Like, what's cracking? But you saw it. Who'd you see? Who you know? You know who? Oh man. Oh shit, that's my nigga. Like I'm still gonna be normal when you come in.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I won't cuss if I don't feel you cuss. I can feel you out and be like, somebody white come in, I'm never gonna say, oh, that's my nigga. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna do that, but I'm gonna make you feel comfortable. I'm not gonna overbear you with this luxury talk. So based upon that, our price point kind of commands us to do that. To pour champagne when you walk in and, do all these things that just aren't natural. It's gonna seem very forced and you won't be comfortable. So it's like sometimes that kind of puts us in a bad position when we say, this is how much you owe. So when Kanye was doing that, it was like, man, finally somebody speaking on our behalf, because it is difficult to do this as being black. You know what I mean? Like Kanye did have the idea to do these same leather sweatpants that I did. He had the idea to do it, but he didn't. He told Fendi to do it, and Fendi was like, nigga, you crazy. You know what I mean? So like, it never came out, and I never knew about that, so I put out my leather sweatpants.
Did you find out later that Kanye told Fendi to do it?
Yeah, he did an interview. He did an interview and said it. I brought leather sweatpants 10 years ago and told them to make them, and they didn't do it because they don't respect. And it was just this whole thing. It's like, but we've done it. I made $1 million now, but prior to me coming out, I had $1 million.
Yeah.
He talking about I wasted $10 million doing this and that. I'm like, bro, it don't cost that much. Like, you don't have to. It's ways to get this done. Like maybe he's trying to be Louis Vuitton today, as opposed to understanding Louis Vuitton is 200 years old. They had a head start, so you can't be Louis Vuitton today. Big ass head start. Like one, they not black, you know what I mean, and not from fucking the Midwest, but like it's different steps that have to be taken in structuring and creating and putting that board of directors together. Like it's Louis Vuitton, Moet, and Hennessy. Like, man, them the top 3 brands of whatever in the world. You know what I mean?
I feel like too, when you can put a face to a brand, it makes it more difficult sometimes because you don't know, who the curator may be of Louis Vuitton this year,
right?
But you don't know the guy next to you could own Louis Vuitton. I think that kind of mystery, kind of. It adds to like
the mystique of the brand.
Yeah, the mystique of the brand. Exactly. And so when Jay-Z owns Tidal, so now black people kind of associate how they feel about Jay-Z as opposed to how they feel about his product.
Right.
And I tell people all the time,
Right.
you got to separate
it. Yeah.
You got to separate that. Like, you don't. Jay-Z raps about whatever. People didn't know Jay-Z was cheating or he was thinking about divorce until he said something.
Right.
So now their relationship goes, and you don't know what's going on at their house.
I have no idea.
You got to take. You got to take. And I think that's kind of the problem we run into with black people. Is because like, oh man, like they know B. Oh man, you know, I'm not trying to do nothing with B. I'm not. You know what I mean?
Right. Or they expect it to be a certain way.
Have you ran into that? Like, they love the brand, but once they find out, you know that that is you or.
Oh yeah, I mean it happens all the time, man, and it's unfortunate, but then it allows me to catch myself too. You know what I mean? So where I may be like, I don't fuck that nigga, so I ain't doing. Like, hold on, B. That's the same thing you're so mad about such and such doing. So you got to check yourself. So we check it at the door. It's people in Chicago that I don't like. I still go buy their shit. True indeed, they're making T-shirts, so it's easier for me to buy that. You know what I mean? But at the same time, if they were selling something else, I would buy that too. You know what I mean? So it definitely, plays a part. You know what I mean? Because, I might have got an opportunity that they wanted, or, they might have liked my wife, or I don't know, I snubbed them in the club or something like that. So it's like certain things that may make them think differently of me, but it's like, at the end of the day, dog, like I'm here for the culture. You know what I mean? I'm here to showcase, like, yo, these are things you can do. We used to put up a quote every day, like telling people, like, yo, get through this situation, persevere, learn how to sacrifice. Sacrifice isn't a punishment. Like, we would put through those lessons and give that knowledge away for free. Right. You know what I mean? Like, to people that weren't clients, like, we got 37,000 followers. Like, I ain't got 37,000 sales. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? So it's just like, we have to make sure that we're kind of creating how we want things to be. Yeah. You know what I mean? Showing that example. You know what I mean? So back to answering the question though, you asked like
yeah, dude. Yeah. Let us finish the question.
Well, we finished it, but it's an organic flow. Because I got more questions too. But
you always want to talk about Jay-Z then.
Well, that's the ultimate, I think, as far as black business, if you do Diddy, who you worked with, we're gonna get to that later. Yeah. But Diddy, Jay-Z, maybe
let the man finish the question, please.
You said you brought the Jay-Z up though, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
So it's like with the question of do we find it difficult? That was the part with like, do we find it difficult being black? Man, it's very difficult, man. Like we think about selling a brand every day, and every other day we think about quitting because we don't have that sustainability sometimes. Sometimes we might not make a sale for 2 weeks. The hell I'm gonna do for 2 weeks if I ain't make no sales? Like I spent that money, like we had to go get more product or take care of a lease payment or whatever.
The lights still got to get paid.
I still got to get paid. I can't just pay them when you decide to come to the store. Like we got to pay them every day. So it's like those things definitely take a toll, man. But it's we can't use it as an excuse or a crutch. You know what I mean? I was black before I started the business, and I love being black. I would never trade it. Like, this is, the flavor I got, and I ain't even the most flavorful dude in the world, man. But my ability to, I hate the word finesse, but to finesse the way that I've done this is insane. I couldn't have done this not being black. Like, I'm not a designer. Like, DJ and Jermaine took care of the design. They used to tell my ideas was terrible. They were like, man, that shit whack, big. We ain't doing that. We got some crack over here, though. And I'd be like, yo, that shit is crack. I think Tech is one of my favorite rappers of all time. Like, I'm with Brown creatives all the time. Like, Will's an amazing rapper. Like, these cats is amazing. Yeah, shout out to Dub. Like, it's amazing that what these cats are able to do. But, based upon me being around them and kind of absorbing their powers and shit on some fucking, I see what you did. I'm going to do it over here. I was able to, create what I considered a creative. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And that's from being black.
I think that's good too, because some people, when you engulfed in the whole, like some people who are like artists and they paint, or like I got a homeboy that make beats, and he's so engulfed in making the beats that he can't step away sometimes and see.
Great point.
Great point. And can't see what they say, like you can't see the forest because of the trees. Like you're engulfed in the trees, you can't see the forest. So it's like, I think what you're kind of saying is like, yo, since that you're not so engulfed in it,
you can still run the business.
You can move away from certain designs, and you can accept certain designs. And because some people would have said like Kanye said, leather sweatpants, and some people are like, all right, leather sweatpants. I don't know how that would work.
Right. My wife said it. She was like, I don't know about that one. That's not gonna work. Like, okay. And she hate that I bring that story up, but it's just the only reason I bring it up. Because we good. I ain't mad at her for that. But it's just like sometimes people just don't know. You know what I mean? Like leather sweatpants, like, bro, we ain't even wearing leather pants. People weren't wearing leather pants yet. Let alone the leather sweatpants. So it's like in your brain, you're like, I can't see that being something that will work for the company. You know what I mean? But it doesn't, not that my wife doesn't love me or trust me. It's just like, nah, I don't get it. So sometimes you still got to say, okay, I believe in this idea, so I'm going. Right. Some ideas you say that on, some ideas you don't. Some things my wife says she don't like, and I'll be like, I never like nothing I say. Then I go away for 5 minutes and be like, yeah, that shit was whack as hell, dog. Like, I'm glad somebody told me, man.
You need that.
Glad somebody told me, because we'd have been out here bad. You know, I put all the money into it. Like, no, this the one. You don't know what you're talking about. So it's just, you know, sometimes you got to create that confidence, and you know, sometimes you got to remind people, like, yo, like I did that though.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I've won, and I think another powerful black person, Will Smith, had put that you have to accept your failures and learn from them.
Yeah.
Have you had any failures that you would like to speak on, that you say that you learned from outside of what you went through? You know,
because it sounds. I mean, I was gonna bring that point up, that with some of the challenges that you spoke on with the app and the shoe and everything, like all of those are great lessons that I feel like, you know, from those lessons, you said, okay, I shouldn't have really put a pop-up shop across the street from the Staples Center.
Right, because there's nowhere to park.
Right, because
you think traffic is right there.
But that's a lesson
right.
that you use to move forward now.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely,
and a lot of times people are so defeated by one failure or two setbacks that they quit.
Yeah,
you know, and just with the name of your brand and what it stands for, we gotta keep moving forward.
Yeah,
the needle gotta keep moving.
Gotta keep moving. I joke with people sometimes in interviews and just talking, like, we should have named the company Winning. You know what I mean? We wouldn't have had to persevere through so much. In order to persevere, you gotta fall. You know what I mean? Like, people always talk about, you know, oh, you gotta watch what you name your kids. Like, yeah, that too. But when you create a company and you're saying, okay, this is what I want to embody. Man, persevering, like, yo, it ain't just because I tripped on a stone and I fell. No, nigga, you fell on a mountain.
Right.
The Rocky Mountain, too. You know what I mean? Like, you beat up and bruised in a motherfucker. Nigga, like, you know,
some ribs is broken.
Yeah. And then it's like, all right, cool, we got to climb up again. Climb up again, nigga. You is fucked up. You know what I mean? Like,
I want to quit.
Yeah, and then plenty of times, it's like, yo, I'm done. Hour later, I'm sketching this shit. You know what I mean? So it's just like, you know, when we named it that, you know, those failures are what allow for us to persevere. Nobody in anything that they want to do, Jay, Puff, Nas, everybody had to persevere through some shit. Like, fucking everybody, dog. Like, Jay wasn't always Jay-Z.
Yeah,
nope.
He got on later.
He couldn't even get no one wanted to give him a record deal.
A record deal. Like,
and most people will say that he's one of the best of all time to do it. And at one point, he couldn't even get a record deal.
And you know why? And I always think, like, the higher power, no matter what you believe in, that record deal would have stopped him. Yep. You know what I mean? Right there.
It would have threw his trajectory up.
And sometimes people take that, well, I want a deal. Sometimes you don't need a deal. You don't want a deal. You need to keep rapping. Or I need to go to the league. Sometimes you need to practice your craft and you become a better coach. Or, you know, a better
or you
teacher.
get able to get to your actual potential, man. Like, and it's so difficult to know because, you know, we're taught to, and this thing my wife says, like, right now collaborations are big. You know what I mean? So, like, you know, Nike's doing a collab with this and Puma's collabing with everybody. Right. So it's just like, we wait for someone else to tell us how great we are. We waiting for these not black-owned company. Waiting for Nike, and then once Nike does it, it's like, oh yeah, I love Brandon. Brandon's amazing. Like, yeah, I always love him. I'm gonna go buy that right now. But like, you don't fuck with me though. Like, and it's just like us needing that validation from something else as opposed to ourselves. We got to know on our end that we the best. You know what I mean? Like, you know, we ain't. Like I said, we still grinding. You know what I mean? We up, but we still grinding. Ain't no Nike collabs pending right now. Like, so I was like, fuck, I'm gonna make my own shoe. You know what I mean? Right. Oh, I can't do that. All right, cool, I'm gonna make my own book bag. I always wanted this. I always wanted to do that. Like, if I could just get 10,000 people in the world to consistently buy that, I'm good. Like, we have to be able to know that of ourselves. You know what I mean? We have to have that confidence in ourselves, dog. And that's the biggest piece that's missing because we're not taught that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so I'm glad that you alley-oop this. I'm ready to. Okay, Lonzo Ball, the Ball family, big baller brand. Yeah. Okay, we talk about them, their family, often as far as, you know, what they're doing, you know, how the world is like, oh, he's this or he's that or whatever. From an entrepreneur, as a father, like, how do you feel about that whole situation? And ultimately, what do you think about the shoe?
I mean, the shoe was trash. It wasn't a good shoe. It wasn't a good shoe. It was overpriced. And I don't think people have gotten their shoes yet. I think they were supposed to deliver in November. So people were like...
I think that the shoe did get delivered, but I think it wasn't the colorway that they first pushed out.
Wow. That's interesting because, like, I watched the Jay interview that he did on with Elliot with
Elliot
on the
Wilson.
joint, on Rap Radar, and he was like, I bought 10 pair, and it's just like, you bought 10 pair of them, you looked at that and was like, this is something I need to support, and that's kind of where I take issue with it because Jay's, if not Jay directly, somebody around Jay knows exactly who I am. Exactly who I know who knows exactly who I am. They know me. Mm-hmm. And that is not something that they're looking to be like, yo, yeah, give me a shot. You know what I mean? But it's like with this boss, the big baller brand situation, which I don't think it's a good shoe. I don't think it's a good performance thing. I think performance is something that you have to take very seriously because people get hurt. You know what I mean? There's tons of times like, D Rose is getting hurt, had a lot of injuries going forth, man. Like, you can't just be like, oh, yeah, I'm in performance now. Like, it don't work like that, man. Like, it's a long process to get to that point to where, okay, we make basketball shoes. Like, I make shoes for looking cool.
For walking around, yeah.
Don't play ball in these, though. So it's like, on the one hand, it's like, yo, congrats to you and kudos to you for stepping out and being like, yo, we're going to do our own thing. At the same time, it's like, yo, go get the knowledge first, bro. Like, you were there making sure they play basketball good. There's nobody over there being like, yo, we have got the best technology and we are making sure that as a brand, we're putting forth the best product possible and we're charging you $500, $600, $700 for it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I like Zoe. I like him as a person. I think his game will eventually come around. Like, he's 20 years old. Like, it's gonna take a minute.
His game is decent.
It's decent. He's cool.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he's cool. He's gonna be good.
Understand the process. Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna be good. But it's just like kids that look up to him can't afford that. So like, what's really the point? It's like to bastardize the culture. I don't think that what they're doing is good for the culture, and that's always one thing that I'm very protective over because we do have kids, and they see these things. So it's like, if this is what is working, we just got to go do that. Oh, no, you can't go do that. But he's making more money than you. So it's like, how do I say that this doesn't work?
Right.
If the proof is in the pudding and it's like, okay, we put our bank accounts next to each other, like, yo, he looked like he winning way more than you. It's just like, I get it, but it's just not culturally elevating to me.
It's a quality thing as far as with his brand and everything. He should do more research and apply more technology.
He should be making sure he's elevating the culture within everything he's doing. The quality of the brand, I think that's so important, man, because, some people don't get the chance to put their first shoe out. We put out like 25 shoes or something crazy like that. Like, people don't always get that opportunity, though. Like, I'm not the best designer. I don't ever front to be. I know people that's designing circles around me, but they ain't got no money to put it up, or they ain't got they don't have the ability to sacrifice and say like, yo, if I sacrifice this today, tomorrow I might be on. They don't have to. That's a gift. They don't everybody doesn't have that.
It's foresight. Because what you do today is for 5 years down the line.
The podcasts don't see that. They just draw really good. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's my job to go get that talent though and be like, yo, now you work here. You know what I mean? But it's like when it comes to the baller brand, like, I just think that culturally it's not elevating. But then at the same time, they're trying to create their own culture, and that's fine, but they got to do that over there because I don't agree with the antics. You know what I mean? Like, 50 Cent. I like 50. But like early in his career, like the antics, the how to robs, like Uncle Murder, like, oh, skills, you suck. You old. Like, who cares, bro? Like, everybody gets old. Like, it's a blessing to get old. Like, it's attacking the wrong things, and then it just attacks ourselves. Like,
and it hurts the culture, you think?
Hurts the culture, man. It hurts the culture and the depiction of the culture. You know what I mean? Like, people be looking at it, laughing, like, oh, look at these niggas. Look what the fuck they doing today.
And so when you talk high end, you kind of want the whole culture to elevate to a higher end standard just in life, then it seems like.
In life, elevating life. Like, we call ourselves the elevated lifestyle. Like, it ain't about nicer clothes. It's just like nicer than yesterday's clothes, though. Like, I mean, we ain't Louis. Man, Louis Vuitton, they be, the practices are different. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, they sit over there and they, one by one, hand this and hand that. And it's just like, man, I commend it. I've been out for 5 years, though, 6 years. Like, niggas around for 200, and they got billions of dollars to play with.
And a lot of resources.
A lot of resources, and everybody loves them already.
And the name recognition and all
exactly. And they've embedded in our brand that's perfection. So our goal in life is to get Louis, is to get Gucci. Like, and I love Gucci. I never, like, I use them in reference a lot of times, But red and green Gucci is the most classic thing you could ever see. Like 88 with the low tops. Like, niggas wasn't playing
Before
tennis.
the S-dot.
Niggas wasn't playing tennis, but
People
they had them
don't
shoes,
know the
though.
S-dots come from that mold. They don't understand that.
A lot of people don't like to do their history.
Because because wasn't no internet. So it's like now you're just looking at old pictures. Like, why am I looking at these old pictures?
So who are some of your influences when it comes to fashion, as far as like people that you look up to, you know, from an entrepreneurial aspect, where it's like, you know what, I like how they did this, or I did